When was the last time was someone's trunk sanitized, or the seat, or even the seat belt? It's probably been 2000 and never. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing part 2. Well, this basically is part 2 of the Let's Talk About 2020, but this is about the business opportunities and products that could have been very profitable during this time, at least from my perspective. Like, these are things that I was just actively thinking of in 2020. Now, there was a lot of money left on the table. If you guys seen the 2020 video, you know that there are a lot of interesting things that happened that made a lot of people question if this was real, which, again, lots of focus on politics and profit and scare tactics. Like, it takes money to do all of that. Yeah. And then you're paying people to protest? No. I don't know about you, but there were other things that were not talked about. Like, honestly, that video could have went on even longer because there's a lot that happened that year. First things first, in 2020, when a lot of people were getting really scared, they were worried about ordering out and stuff, and businesses were trying to stay open. So what were they doing? They were saying that the food was touchless. How in the world is your food touchless? Make it make sense. Are they preparing it with the gift of levitation? Are they? Okay, specifically, I noticed a lot of pizza companies were doing this, trying to say like, oh, we have touchless delivery. Again, like, you either are, like, touchless is a very broad thing to say, because like you can say like, oh, it's touchless. Well, what do you mean by that? Like, touchless as in like a human isn't touching it? Because I mean, like, what are we talking about in regards to touchless? Are you making the dough and preparing the pizza with the gift of levitation? Like, the pizza's levitating in the air as you prepare it. Like, touchless. Floating. Now, or, you know, maybe they have robots in the back. Who knows? Who knows? But long story short, like, I'm surprised a lot of people didn't get, like, sued for that, because it's not like false advertisement. Like, you're still touching the pizza. Like, what do you mean touchless? A human is back there making and preparing the pizza in some form or fashion. Yeah, I wonder, did anyone get sued for this? I don't know. Let the lawyers speak, because I want to know. Someone still had to, like, drop your pizza off, and they were also, like, doing a lot of advertisement of making, showing customers that they have like separate compartments between the driver and where the pizzas were stored, so the pizza had like its own like space, but still at the same time, like, they have to put it in that little carrier and then go drop it off at your front door, and then they'll hurry up and run away, so you're like 6 feet. They still have to touch that with their hands, the outside of the box, and then, like, that's germs. The next thing was COVID-19 comorbidities. Comorbidities are basically the existence of more than one disease or illness at the same time. So that's clearly common sense. That can make a lot of things complicated anytime you have health issues. Like, for example, if you have the flu, but then you also have, what's it called? Okay, like, for example, one of my siblings, actually, she had comorbidity. So she, like, was, like, depleted of energy compared to me and my other sister when we had COVID. So she actually had COVID and the flu. Yeah, so she was, like, double hit. A lot of people were starting to get that in around, like, 2021. Yeah, so it was, like, around, like, winter time, like, the end of, like, 2021. That's when that was happening. The news also said that, like, comorbidities also included, like, people that were overweight or obese, they could experience more severe complications if they were to catch COVID-19. Okay, but this would have been the perfect opportunity, like if you are a small or large business and you have like some type of weight loss drug or program, because they were saying there was a lot of talking about long-term health issues and effects. So that is something to take into account. And like that would have been a perfect time to implement that. In patients with 2 or more, yeah. So basically, patients, there are more complications with patients with 2 or more comorbidities. Comorbidities. I guess here we go. And then there was a time where the news was saying COVID-19 was airborne. So this was perfect time. Like I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like someone's probably going to come out with like some type of like mask that has an oxygen tank, or like, well, at least they should, because like something that filters the air. I'm always thinking of like some type of like gas mask or something with like a, you know, like scuba gear. It sounds crazy, but like honestly, people were really scared at this time. The things that I've seen, like there was the mask that people were making before, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so any kind of mask with a filter, like that would have been like interesting to have. I think I did see something like that on the news like months after, but like I was just like coming up with ideas like right off the bat. So I'm just like, okay, because like if it's airborne, like, you know, let's filter the air. The next thing is a lightweight antibacterial mist would have been great to have, because most people didn't even think to sanitize their cereal box or their canned goods. Like if they did their canned goods, or I'm not sure how many people have canned goods, but you just have to think a lot of that stuff has germs on it. You're opening the doors at the store, and then you have the carts, then you put everything into your car and your trunk. When was the last time was someone's trunk sanitized, or the seats, or even the seat belts? It's probably been 2000 and never. Yeah, so like a lightweight mist that would be antibacterial, that could sanitize the car. Yeah, no one really thought to sanitize their cars, but everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, oh my god, drop your clothes at the door. And it was like, drop your clothes at the door. So like, okay, now this is for technology. Now this one is for the tech people. So a lot of people had masks and gloves on in the store. Well, some people had gloves on. Like I really didn't like the glove thing, so just like also too, like your body's like made to come into contact with germs and bacteria and everything, like, so I feel like the gloves and everything, that was like a bit much, because like you don't want to stay in an environment that's like too like sanitized, because you can like develop like allergies and stuff. And I know, because I had a roommate, her mom was super clean, and now she's like allergic to everything. Didn't even know that was a thing. But then yeah, so I have like cleaning once a week or so. It's like, you know, yeah, you don't want to be too clean. But in general, the gloves made the contact with your opening the phone, holding your phone, and scrolling through your phone was really hard to do, depending on how well or not the gloves fit, as well as like the mask. Like Face ID would not work, and then if you could barely press like your phone, like, you know, you kind of like need to not have gloves then. Or unless they can come out with gloves that are phone friendly but also have that protection, yeah, from highly germified surfaces. Yeah, but I was thinking, like, you guys know the spy movies? I was thinking like ocular ID, because we've had Touch ID, we have Face ID now, but it's just like the ocular ID would just make more sense to have at that point, because like I thought there would have been an update or something, but like that should be something that's implemented at some point. Ocular ID, or even like voice command. But I feel like voice command is probably a bit creepy, but then again, people are already being listened to anyway, so it's like We have some lighting adjustments that are being made currently. Yeah. But the last one is, okay, I thought books would have been like, books on centered around immunity would have been a very lucrative opportunity during this time, because anytime there's a sickness, you want to build your immunity, right? Or even if you want to prevent or help improve your health, you're going to want to take in immunity building vitamins and minerals and just anything that you can get your hands on that can help build the immune system, even if that's making a specific kind of soup or a tea. That's what you want to do. So like any books centered around like holistic health, vitamins, or fruits, vegetables, smoothies, juices, like anything like that, that would have been a really nice thing to sell. Oh my gosh, no, my face. Okay, yeah, that would have been a really nice thing to have. Well, or sell, 'cause like that, yeah. But I feel like people are much more aware now to like, if something like that happened, they're gonna be more like, well, maybe, it depends. Because like, there were some people that still don't believe in like holistic healing and like, that was the way of the world for like many cultures. Like there wasn't a Walmart or anything to run to, or just like there wasn't any stores to like run to like way back in the day. Like you could get ingredients from like your local mart or whatever, but yeah, like no, you have to go and source whatever you could depending on what area you lived in. So yeah, people made homemade concoctions that would help, like homemade things that would actually help cure them. So yeah, I think today's video is like really short, but thank you guys for watching, and yeah.